Welcome.
You're now tuned into STWF TV, the Parlay Perspective. The Parlay Perspective. Where we talk hockey.
Feed Byfield around one man in on goal. Scores! What a goal! Quentin Byfield! And that gets Jim Fox out of his seat here at Crypto.com Arena.
Basketball.
To take matters into his own hands, Van Horn. Now, you got to get this in from third kid. With the snap and the facial. Oh, my gosh. Throw it down, Cody.
Football.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my goodness! Oh my God! Wilson's gonna lob one, and somehow, some way, Paul Richardson comes up with the ball. Cuts upfield. Hurdles over a couple of people.
Oh my goodness, did you see that? He hit Steve Brown with what looked like a karate kick.
Baseball and more.
Well, there goes again. Pitch is swung on a miss. Throw to second base is high. They're going to say that Rojas got in the way. It doesn't matter. Sosa tagged him out anyway. That was an amazing catch and tag by Sosa.
In the air along the line in right. Long way to go for Jake Bauer. Round, and he's got it. And he's up and over.
The Parlay Perspective. The Parlay Perspective.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Parlay Perspective. I'm Dale. We got Chill Will in the building. He is on time because I'm late, and I'm late because, listen, I had stuff.
Excuses. What up, Ant?
I had stuff to do. How about that?
Damn shame. He said, we're not a priority. All right.
So, man, what's going on with you? How you doing this Monday?
Monday suck, right? We're here.
Yeah.
That's the only good thing about Mondays, this podcast. What up? Damn it,
I'm
Bobby.
here so I don't get fined. I'm here so I don't get fined. What's up? All right. We got a good show for y'all this
Allegedly.
today. And by good show, I mean we got nothing prepared. There you go.
At all.
So
At all. I'm have to spread my. I'm gonna have to really. You think I carry a show sometimes too? I'm gonna have to carry the whole thing this time. We ain't got no topics.
zero.
You're gonna be a talking head. Hey, we got this topic though. You heard?
Hey, for sure. For sure. We got that going on.
Yeah, let's go.
I will probably wear mine on the chop up there. So yeah.
I would wear
We
the
good?
other one on chop up. How about that?
I mean, when you got it like that, you got it like that,
Some of us built different.
Yep. Oh man. Yes, absolutely nothing was in the chat because I was busy preparing some stuff. And not the show. So hey, look at this. Quarterback is the most important position on the field. Okay. He thinks Tennessee needs just more than a quarterback. So they should trade down. All right. This is a good topic to talk about, Anthony. We appreciate you.
I'll give
for
you 10
supplying
minutes
the
on
show
this.
with stuff to talk about.
I can give you at least 10 on this. So I understand the different philosophies here. Okay. And what you're saying, Anthony, not a bad idea. You're not wrong. Especially if you're not sure about who that quarterback is at number one. Because you could trade this pick and get 2-3 firsts, possibly. And then the next couple of years, you got another shot. Actually, the next couple of years, you'll have 2 shots every year because you're probably still going to be a bad team. 2 shots at a good quarterback early in a draft. Or you could package them together and then go up to 1 next season when there's quarterbacks you may like better. However, if you think you have the guy you want that you like, you take him every time. This is how it goes. I understand you may have more needs, but if you truly believe in what Cam Ward is and what he'll bring to your team, you draft him. You already did the hard part, sucking enough to get the first round pick. So, I mean, look, but because a team like Pittsburgh is desperate for no, you're 100% right. If they offered that pickup, I think Pittsburgh might offer him 2 firsts and a second.
I think so.
Because that Pittsburgh is actually in a position where if they get a quarterback they like, they can set themselves back up for the next 7 to 10 years, like they have been when they had Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, they could pull one of those moves off. But
who's to say that guy is out there that they're in love with and that they believe can do this?
Exactly. What up, Mizzo? Yo.
So,
but yeah,
that's always my thing when it comes back to, trading up and trying to be aggressive to go get somebody. Because if you are that aggressive, you better love them. Because if it don't work out, it's going to set you back. All right.
You said the Steelers offered their entire draft for that number 1 pick. I feel like a team has done that for not the number 1 pick before. I can't quite put my finger on it, though. Who did such a thing?
Man, I'm telling you, bro. Like,
Bad Boys. That's who.
They could just wanted to get back on the golf course, bro. Like he didn't like the process of drafting. Like,
so he traded a whole draft. Like, I'm not gonna do it this year. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna just go golfing.
Just give me a running back. I'm good.
Get
That's
the
all I
fuck
need.
out of my way. And let me cook. And y'all didn't do shit.
And hey, look, as the coach, like, you got to believe in your guy, your coach, right? And so that's what he wanted to do. That's what they did. And yeah,
that's crazy. That's definitely
did not work out very well. Did not work out very well, man. So the question we've got on our cover for this episode is about Abdul Carter. Oh, look at this, a new member of the family.
Got a new member. I'm just babysitting for my boss. But this is Bart. Okay. Her 12-year-old son named him. That's why he's named Bart.
Let's go. We're ready to jump to the roof. It's a
go.
dog on TV now, y'all.
He want to go play.
Call your neighbors. They got a dog. Okay, I'm telling you, people really go nuts. Like when you see like a look, it's like this.
A puppy. On cue, Bobby was like, my inner white needs to shine immediately.
It happens, bro. I've seen this so much on different podcasts.
Oh, this is a fun little topic I could do right quick. Random question, Will. What's your thoughts on Colorado retiring Sanders and Hunter? You think that's good marketing to bring other? Oh, for sure. And that's probably why they did it. But also, I dare anybody, without Google, name 5 great Colorado Buffaloes. I'll wait.
Right.
We got all the time in the world.
Right.
We do. The only other name you got to come up with like that is Cordell Stewart, who also should have his number retired, and they took forever to do it if they did it at all.
And so my rebuttal to that kind of stuff was it's a different administration. It's a different time in Colorado. So maybe in the past they didn't appreciate their great football players, but now they do.
That's what I say. Like my point was, are we giving them shit for getting it right? Like, I mean,
right.
Like they figured it out. They realized they didn't do right by certain players in the past, and now they're doing it. Yeah. Also, had they done it right in the past, Michael Westbrook crazy ass would have been up there, and probably not necessary. Like that motherfucker's nuts.
Well, maybe they feel like they should start with the past and not with what just left.
Yeah, but guess what? The past, nobody watched them. It's clearly also for marketing. So like nobody watched them. So hey, if a young kid is sitting there deciding what school he's gonna go to, and the defining factor for him may be like, well, I want to one day like be one of the greats at that school. Well, don't go to Bama. Not gonna happen for you.
Yeah.
Don't go to Georgia. Not gonna happen for you. You know what I mean? Probably don't even go to LSU, Florida. Not gonna happen for you. But if you do want your name up somewhere in the rafters, you can go play with Coach Prime, and then they probably gonna get you up there. They got there after 2 seasons. No bowl games.
That's a good point. So that's a good point. I didn't really think about that, but yeah, that's a good point. You want to live forever in some kind of way, right?
Right. And if you're immortalized at Bama, great. You're one of the greatest ever. But guess what? If you're immortalized at Bama, you're probably going to be immortalized at a much higher level anyway. But if you're immortalized at Colorado, and you may not even have an NFL career, but at least you'll always have Your number retire, and you can walk back in that motherfucker whenever you want. Yeah, you got to do it that way, man. I don't blame guys for doing that.
So, all right, we're saying Sanders is the perfect fit for Mike Tomlin.
Couldn't agree
rather
more.
than Cam Ward. It doesn't make much sense to him for Pittsburgh scheme. So,
scheme wise, I think Ward could
Mike
still
Tomlin
make
is
it
in
happen.
love with Sanders, though. Like, I don't know that for sure.
Right? Does he want him? How bad does he want Sanders on his
Right.
squad? Scheme wise, I think Ward still works on Pittsburgh scheme wise because, first of all, he's a hard worker. Second of all, he's got a cannon, and they got two receivers out there who are always open now. They're going to always be open. So just get the ball down the field. Dale, we don't draft a quarterback at 9. What do we trade back into the first round to draft someone or hire in the second round?
Listen, my personal feelings about this thing,
Here
like,
we go.
I hope they don't draft quarterback. Let's just roll what we got. And
Even if it's Sanders?
Well, if Kellen Moore loves Sanders, fine. I'm okay with that. But be warned. You take somebody, you tie to him, and if it don't work out, you're getting fired. Like that's the way it goes. That's the rule.
So, well, first of all, your coach is always on the borderline of getting fired anyway. Not a good team. Second of all, for the Steelers, he ain't getting fired.
Okay. Yeah.
So he can make that. He can make that gamble for sure. Some coaches can make the gamble. Also, Josh Rosen drafted number 1 overall. Next year they draft Kyler Murray 1 overall. So there's precedent for this shit.
Yeah, but it's a waste of a draft pick. I think you can, if you're not in love with anybody at quarterback in this draft, build your team the best you possibly can.
Yeah.
Work with what we got at quarterback, and let's deal with the next season. It seems like a logical thing to do, but hey.
So you said, can you tell us who? Oh wait, we'll go to that too. I don't want any QBs, but they're drafting someone. Fair. Can you guys tell me the great players in Colorado had in the 90s? Because I was too literally all I got is Cordell Stewart and Michael Westbrook. I don't remember anybody else on that team.
Rashawn Salam.
Oh, Rashawn Salam too. Yeah, you got that right. And that's it. End of list.
That's it. Yep. I agree. But I mean, look, kudos to them for getting it right now, and and it definitely will help a recruit. I believe it will.
Oh, 100%. Couldn't agree more.
So yeah, let's talk about this guy who we've drafted, and number 1 overall in our mock drafts, right? And you wanted him to fall to your team.
I still do.
In the first round, but now he's being considered to be one of the top overall picks. Is he deserving of that?
He always was, though.
Okay.
He was always considered a top 3 pick. The only thing that brushed him back a little bit was the way he got a little injury during Combine or Pro Day or right before that or whatever. That's the only thing that was gonna make him fall. It's not even like remember Jalen Carter had whole off the field issues, and he only fell to 10 to Philly, which some bullshit. But yeah, so these guys ain't gonna fall too far unless they show like a chronic injury or like a really chronic attitude issue.
Yeah, we enabled them with that pick too. So
you really did, and we all got to blame you guys for it as one of the teams.
It's really our fault. I'm not gonna lie.
It's cute. He would have been great, and you needed the position. Don't get me wrong, you had guys on the line, but he would have helped immensely. Who'd you take instead?
No, we traded that pick to Philly the year before for the rights to draft Olave.
Oh, thanks, guys. I'm so glad you did it for such a quality play. Jesus Christ, Saints.
Because we were like, all we need is one player, and then we're gonna make the Super Bowl once you get this one player. I never want to do that. I never want to be that cocky and think you're one player away from winning anything. Because football will slap you around. Your team will get injured. You need more than one guy, guaranteed. Depth is important.
I need Carter to fall back to New England so Campbell will fall back to 9. Yeah, that's a possibility.
I'd be cool with Will Campbell at 9 for New Orleans Saints because, listen, offensive tackle is still a question mark. We've got a sort of question mark bust at right tackle. The guy who we drafted at left tackle couldn't get it right. We ended up drafting another tackle to replace him. And this guy used to be a right tackle in college. We moved him to left tackle, moved the left tackle to right tackle because he sucked at left tackle. And last year he was okay, but was he really okay? Because he just was good enough to keep in the lineup. I don't know.
Which way did he go? He went that way. Like that. What is your team doing? Oh man.
Yeah.
Bro.
Literally every position is a question
Every
mark.
position.
That's right.
To me, Abdul and the guy from Georgia are very scheme-dependent edge rushers. I think they only succeed in the NFL in certain type of defensive line alignments. I hope I'm not being harsh. Nah, that's a fair criticism. I do think Abdul Carter has a little more than what you're giving him credit for, but I would agree that he is predominantly an edge rusher, very much like Michael was. And but having said that, and being a freak athlete, if you go to the right scheme or just get coached well, I think he'll be fine. But yeah, you're right. The two best edge guys in this draft are very much just edge guys. Not a lot of run stopping for those two.
No, not talking about Ramczyk. Ramczyk. So let me kind of bring this to your wheelhouse here, Will.
Okay.
Ramczyk is we traded Brandon Cooks to you guys in exchange for a first round pick, in which we took Ryan Ramczyk.
We gave up a first for that bum.
Yeah. It was like number 27 or something like that.
Yeah, it was 27. And also that was in a stage where we just wanted to add guys because we still had Brady. So we didn't really care. And he actually played well for us before he got
right. It turned out to be, a decent trade for both parties. But we drafted Ryan Ramczyk. Ryan Ramczyk, he just officially announced his retirement. He really retired last year. Like, he was just on the books.
Yeah.
Like you can't say you retired yet. Just take this check and go home. That's what he did. So yeah, but now Brandon Cooks is back on our team this season. It's crazy.
Ooh, Anthony wants to go live. You want to let him in?
So, oh yeah, all right, sure.
I said
Come
it to
through. Come through.
Ant, find me. Let me see. Is your name the same on Facebook? But go ahead, Dale. I'll figure this out.
So that was hold on, this one. At best, Carter can be the next Micah. At worst, he could be the next JPP. Not exactly a bad deal as long as he stays away from the fireworks. So the fireworks, yeah, for sure. You definitely want to keep away from the fireworks and stuff like that. But, look, everybody in the NFL is hungry for either a quarterback or the guy that's going to disrupt the quarterback all the time. And they will reach for these smaller pass rushers coming off the edge. And sometimes it works in the NFL, but sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
And I've seen it more often than not that the smaller guys don't really pan out because of the strength issue. Do you have any concerns at all about Abdul Carter's strength on the edge?
Nah, because they're going to get him on like a crazy NFL plan that he's going to be treated differently than a guy who, may be talented, but we're not sure. And maybe he doesn't take the game serious enough. Like he seems to really want to hit quarterback. So they'll bulk him up. Yeah, I got Twitter. What's your Twitter handle, bro? A lot of people saying he's Chop Robinson from last year.
Right.
Still needs a ton of development because of the lack of production. It could be.
I mean, at the end of the day, you are compared to the people you're coming out with, right? And so, is he really the best? He's just the best pass rusher coming out, or is he like, I don't know, at least a top 32 or 64 pass rusher in the NFL? You know, Michael Strahan became more effective later in his career when he dropped to 255. Okay.
To be fair, though, he already had like at that he had old man strength. Like he was so strong still that like he slimmed down. I don't know that he lost any power doing that though. Motherfucker's strong.
Yeah, that's true. When you do get up in age, I mean, compared to the younger ones who don't know what that strength takes, what kind of regimen you should be on, or you've been on his regimen for like 10 years plus, and versus somebody who just got on it a few months ago, that strength can be a big difference there. So,
hey, that's you, bro. Just want to make sure I'm not sending it to the wrong person. The way Abdul Carter, please, I see a lot of Jason Taylor and Michael Strahan. Yeah. I can see it. Like he's a really good player. Looks like.
These are good comparisons here for sure. Definitely good comparisons to be going up against. So, bus. Somebody's going to be a bus.
Every year.
I mean, yeah, every year you're going to have them. So, I mean, who's the most busty guy out there for you? To me,
it's the quarterbacks.
To me, is Jackson Dart, and like people just start falling in love more and more with these quarterbacks. And Jackson Dart scares the hell out of me because I keep seeing him linked to my team. Don't do it, Saints. I looked at a comparison between him and Matt Corral, and it wasn't that off, bro. Like the similarities between them. Like Dart had more yards and stuff, but the interceptions were just about the same.
Who are you comparing him to?
Matt Corral, the previous Ole Miss quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they ain't the same guy.
Well,
they ain't play on the same teams.
They played on the same team. Well, they played, for the same coach.
They didn't play on the same team. Same coach, though. Yes.
Yeah. Let me try to paste this in differently.
This guy.
So I got the comparison between Dart and Corral right here in the chat. So now this is their total careers at Ole Miss, though. Like the winning just about the same, I think.
All right. So what if I told you this though? What if I told you this?
All right.
So they played in this. You want to say they played in the same system. You want to say they played for mostly the same team. But Dart, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he was maybe not younger. Dart has a much better arm, a more NFL ready arm. Cal, that was his thing. He didn't.
He didn't have the arm.
What up, Coach?
What's up, fellas?
What's good,
Coach in the building? Yes, indeed. So right now I'm looking at the comparison between Jackson Dart and Matt Corral. So I got the stats pasted in our chat there, Coach, just to look at them. So these are the previous two Ole Miss quarterbacks, which is why I looked at them, and I just noticed that Matt Corral was playing for like the UFL team. So
if you posted them in the private chat, they're not there anymore.
Oh, well, you weren't. I think it only appears if you were there when it got posted.
I think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I'm looking for you on Twitter. Struggle bus though.
Did it again.
Boom.
Hold on. me start again.
Okay, I
What's
see it.
my
I
name
see
on
it.
Twitter?
That's Dart. And this is Corral. There you go.
Y'all don't even know my own Twitter handle. It's crazy.
When's the last time you logged in?
Fucking ages ago. Honestly, the last time I was active on Twitter, it was in fact still called Twitter. Like that.
Wow. Now, like, I'm on Twitter like every day. I get all my news and stuff. Like
Yeah,
that on Twitter.
we can tell.
That explains the debauchery. That's for sure. Definitely explains the debauchery.
So, okay, so I'm looking at the comparisons that you have on here.
Uh-huh.
I am assuming, because I'm coming to this conversation late,
Mhm.
I'm assuming with the recent push and the hoopla behind Jackson Dart as a prospect, you doing a comparison from a skill set and expectation stand-wise of why he shouldn't be a first-round draft pick.
Sure.
Is that accurate?
I am against Jackson Dart being drafted in the first round to my team. Absolutely.
Gotcha. Man, tell me that we don't know our teammates.
Yeah. That's what this is all about. Also, like, I have a theory on if you're a bust or not. I don't. For quarterbacks, I only feel you're a bust if you are taking where everyone thought you're supposed to be taken and then you fail. But, like, if Dart gets taken at 9, no one else was going to take him that early. So that's just you guys fucking up. Same thing with Jamarcus Russell. Jamarcus Russell's not actually a bust. No one else was going to draft him that high.
I don't know about that now.
Bro,
Like,
I don't know.
He was an
anyone else
amazing
taking him one.
prospect. Like,
Was he?
From a physical standpoint,
He
threw the ball 60 yards from his knees.
He was a fat man who could throw with a country mile. That's all it was.
No, the fat stuff came in after when he got to the NFL.
No, he was bent. He got fatter. He bent fat. What you mean?
But I'm still saying, like, when he threw from his knees 60 yards, like, everybody fell in love with that arm talent. And yeah, that's what happened. He got drafted number 1. Again, I still claim he went to the Raiders, and that's the reason why it didn't work out. But
yeah, the Raiders made him not watch tape. That's what did it. Get out of here.
Yes, exactly.
No, just cut it out, man. They was lying.
He bring that crap about Nick Saban.
Y'all treated him like he was a god. He was Zach Mettenberger. That's it.
Hey, I got a special place in my heart for Zach Mettenberger.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. That's why I brought him up, because he's also a bum.
If this dude had a line that year, woo, we'd have been great. We had dogs on the outside now. We had no line.
Crazy.
and Mettenberger was a statue. Pocket had to be perfect. All right, QB bust
Ryan Leaf,
like
Achilles
Ryan
Smith,
Leaf, Achilles
yes.
Smith, Joey Harrington.
Joey Harrington,
franchise guy, and completely flopped.
Right, Joey Harrington. I'd argue that was Detroit's fault. You picked a guy out of Oregon. I don't know how many Oregon quarterbacks come in to be great. Like, you got to be careful with those guys.
But that's exactly my point here. Will with Jackson Dart here. We start wanting it so bad, you start making guys into something they're not. And this happens every year.
Except here's the thing. I agree on some levels with the system thing, because I just said that about Oregon and you're saying it about Ole Miss. The other part of it is the physical abilities. Joey Harrington didn't have a cannon. Dart does. He can throw it. Okay. Do you guys consider Zach Wilson a bust? 100%. What are we talking about? Yeah, he's awful.
But he's also a guy who got pushed up because they wanted a quarterback.
But he was a prospect.
No. But
he looked good.
But he had to. He balled in college and had physical abilities.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He was out of BYU, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve Young, what are you saying?
And but we had just gotten another quarterback out of BYU too before Zach Wilson, right?
Oh yeah. The jack of all trades.
What's the likelihood that back-to-back quarterback classes for BYU go hit the NFL? What's the likelihood yet? This is not.
Who was the other BYUer? I forgot already.
Alex guy. Taysom Hill.
Oh, he's not even a quarterback. What are we talking about?
He was their quarterback. He was their quarterback. What's what I'm saying? Like they're not gonna strike twice, bro. Like, let's be smart. Stop pushing these.
I don't think it's stuck anytime.
It didn't strike once. What are you saying? Like, that's what I don't understand about this whole line of thinking. For lightning to strike twice, it got to strike once. It didn't strike the first time. He wasn't good. I think Dart falls second round. If he does, is he a bust still? I don't think so.
Okay,
I think it's limited for quarterback. I think bust is limited to the top 15 to 20 picks, like you said. I agree with that.
So I've got a different philosophy when it comes to the term bust and draft picks. To me, you can be a bust at any pick in a draft.
You have to.
Anybody get the smoke. All right. And when you don't meet expectations, you get the smoke. And so I can say like the Saints will hold on to like a 5th round offensive lineman for like 4 years. And every single season, this guy's hurt. You can never rely on him to get into the lineup.
But you know what your problem is with that line of thinking? You know what your problem with the line of thinking is that line of thinking
like a fan.
It's a fan, and not only is it a fan, it's a fan defending his front office for some odd ass reason, the Saints front office, because your line of thinking takes away the responsibility from the team. He could be a bust, but maybe your team just shouldn't have fucking drafted him that high. Maybe it's not a bust as a player. It's just he got drafted in the wrong spot. If you go and draft Brock Purdy in the first round and he fails, you're an idiot.
No, to me, it doesn't matter where he got drafted. But no, I'm saying he was brought in as a 5th round pick to at least be a rotational piece. When somebody else gets hurt, we could put you in the lineup. He was never able to do that because he was always hurt. Therefore, he's a bust, in my opinion.
So my issue with your take is that you've just replaced the word trash with bust. That's all you've done. Because at the end of the day, you're just talking about a guy who sucks. A bust is meant for somebody who actually has a bunch of talent, gets drafted high for that talent, and then doesn't live up. A guy getting drafted in the 5th round, how's that a bust? He sucked. That's why he made it that far back. That Tiger didn't go crazy. That Tiger went Tiger. That's it. You got to actually be expected to be good. That's why I'm wishy-washy on Jamarcus being a bust, because he's only really a bust for the fact that the bum-ass Raiders made a bad choice. Why? No one else was going to pick him first overall. I don't believe that. I don't. If so, they might have traded up and got it.
Your definition of a bust, Coach?
Well, that's a question that I was thinking about. Would you consider David Carr a bust?
Yes, because everybody was probably going to go and take him. The fact that the worst team took him and never got him online, got him killed so bad in his rookie season that he had PTSD at quarterback for the rest of his natural-born life. That's just what happens. But yeah, he was supposed to be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got drafted
So by that criteria, expectations, draft position, and delivery of expectations.
Also, I'd like to make it very clear. I think the bust title is different by position. Quarterbacks in the first round. Quarterbacks in the first round. That's franchise. Like, that's important. You can't miss on those. Which is why when you pick a Jamarcus Russell, yeah, he's a bust, I guess, but also your fucking front office is a bust. Fire all of them with him. They all got to go. None of you watch tape, just like him, obviously.
A guy like Michael Sam or Monte Teo, are they considered busts?
No, because
they were at elite colleges and never became elite in the NFL.
Yeah, no, because they got played out of their ability to actually have a normal or typical NFL experience because of
outside influences.
Because of outside influences. Like one was gay and basically got vilified, didn't get to get into training camps on time, didn't get to get into team schemes on time. He basically got blackballed. And Manti Te'o, everyone just thought he was so goddamn dumb. How could we ever give him a spot? Like they drafted him, but they were just like, this guy thinks he has an imaginary girlfriend. Why should we give him extra reps anywhere and get him to where he should be? But also, I think if the Manti Te'o thing never happened, still don't think he would have been good. I don't think he was that good of a player to begin with. But I do think Michael Sam was.
Okay.
I don't think either of them are bust. I don't think Sam Darnold or Zach Wilson.
You don't think Sam Darnold or Wilson was a bust because the Jets are trash?
Yeah, but see, they've gotten opportunities elsewhere and haven't done anything with it until Sam just had a great season throwing to possibly basically number one receiver in all of the NFL, and the number two is probably one of the best number twos in all of the NFL, and the team was already pretty good. If he maintains how he played last year, where'd he go? He's in Seattle now?
Yes.
Where did Seattle?
Yes.
They kind of got their offense stripped a little bit. If he goes there and still balls up, then yeah, he wasn't a bust. But also, for the Jets, he was. Like,
you know what's crazy about this whole ordeal? I was going to ask you if you still think he's a bust, and Sam and his careers are starting to model one another. And that's one, Geno Smith.
Geno's another one. Here's the thing. Yeah, I think so again, if you want to take back into consideration what was expected of them, they're both busts. They both were drafted to be franchise guys. They're not even with them franchises anymore. So yeah, it didn't work out. I also don't know. I think that they got better. That's the other thing. This whole idea, this is the Dale thing. The whole snapshot when you're a rookie. That's all you're ever going to be. Like, no, they get better, Dale. They get better. So when I tell you a guy needs to work on his routes, and then he works on his routes, and you're like, see, he can always, no, the fuck he couldn't. He's doing it now. That's what coaching's for. Off my soapbox. I always got to take that.
I mean, but you're what you're saying is whatever scouts put on paper is never wrong, because whatever they did in the pros.
I watched him play games
week
in
one through.
Bro, I watched him play games circling off routes and only running straight for most of the games. For example, Dale, what's the one route in your offense that you fucking can't stand? You hate it. You talked about it before. Yeah, you talked about it before. The Saints, they call that routes? No, they call that slot, like the slot out, where he just basically runs straight out. It's almost like it's supposed to be setting up a screen. Because you brought this up before that y'all ran that too much. You especially brought it up when Les Miles was around, but you said that they still run it.
No. Les Miles didn't run any sort of pass. Okay? Let's clear that up right now.
Let's get one thing straight.
Right. There was no passing with Les Miles. Okay, that was
maybe
the problem.
Eddie O did. At the end of the day, I do think that, for an example, just to bring it to something that we're all familiar with in this podcast, I do think with Brian Thomas, I think he had some things to work on. But I also do think in terms of his route tree, your system just didn't let him run a lot of those routes. And so scouts or anybody, it's not anybody's fault for not seeing him do it, because they weren't letting him do it. I think we learned pretty quickly that, yeah, he worked on them shits and he could run more than what we saw at college. But I watched the games, bro. I love watching your guys. You guys produce so many receivers. I always watch those teams because of that. That's why I knew a lot about Kyron until, rest in peace.
Like I said, with your theory, a guy, a scout is never wrong.
That's not true.
Whatever they show 1 through 10 in the NFL, weeks 1 through 10, you're gonna say they worked them. So it's
but is your stance that no one gets better when they get to the league? They don't work on anything. They just come.
Of course, they get better. Absolutely, they get better. You get stronger. You get faster. All that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So then, what are we talking about then?
How do we get here?
Yeah.
Because he wants to say I'm wrong, and I'm telling him he was wrong. From the beginning,
but how?
Wrong.
This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
That's all.
Man running circle routes.
So Trevor Lawrence,
Rounded.
is he considered a bust? And I mean, it's to be continued, right? He got a second contract, so he can't really be a bust.
Man, hey, that bus is warming up on his ass though.
Oh yeah, the fat lady is in the back doing the me. She's ready to go. Like it's about to be over for me.
Matter of fact, this might be his last year in Jacksonville.
Do we agree that Jackson Dart, the best spot for him in terms of scheme would be Miami or San Francisco? That's always the best spot for pretty much any quarterback because those two spots are
Detroit.
They're quarterback gurus. I'd also add the Rams to that because McVay's like that as well. And then Brian Johnson's trying to add himself to that list as well. Is it Brian Johnson? What is I forget his first name? Johnson. Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's trying to add himself to that quarterback guru list. He's getting there.
Yeah.
Put himself in a good position to head in that direction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, what do you don't have next, Dale? Since we have nothing.
So, all right, we're gonna move on from football, but before we get on to basketball, check this out. Join us for Draft Fest, April 24th and 25th. Hosted by STWF TV, Sports for You, KC Sports Show, and Ballers and Briefs.
I'm going to come.
April 24th and 25th.
I can hardly contain myself.
That's right.
Yo, look at you. You fired the lady.
I had no time to do that, okay?
You fired the lady. Good ship.
At limited time, I couldn't deal with her today.
One close to my black heart is Daniel Jones is a bust, given he wasn't supposed to be the higher pick. Look,
this is again one of these guys that got pushed up because he want the quarterback.
Drafted too high. That's a bad decision by the team. That ain't Daniel Jones' fault. And they were so ready to deal with that mistake that they just made it again by doubling down and paying the guy. It's just insane. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Giants got a giant, man. Sorry, bro.
All right. Let's talk NBA playoffs here.
Playoffs?
Right
you
now.
Talk about playoffs?
Yeah. Right.
Are you kidding me? You're just trying to win a game.
Right now, we got the Knicks and the Pistons playing. The Knicks are up 74-67 in the third quarter.
Yes, they are.
The Knicks are leading the series 1-0. How does this look here for the Pistons to bounce back?
I mean, well, they're up, so
yeah, they're up.
And in New York. So I think what we're learning about this Pistons team is that yes, it's a really young team, but they also got quite a few vets on this team. You got Tobias Harris out there. You got Schroeder off that bench. So they got some.
Don't you say it?
Yeah, they got some vet guys. Your man's.
Don't you say it? Don't you say it?
Your fucking man's Hardaway. Yeah, I mean, so they got some vets, man, and they also have an absolute stud in Cade Cunningham, and I think what we're learning is that they're being coached great, and they're always going to be in a lot of from here on out. As long as they stay healthy, they're going to be in every series that they're in. This team's a scrappy team. It's going to be
Biggerstaff head coach, right?
Who was that?
Biggerstaff Jr., the head coach.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. So this team's fun to watch, man. Cade, I watched Cade play one-on-one by himself. He's a fun player to watch. But yeah,
also
I don't know if
coming
they're
up
going to win.
Tonight, we've got the Clippers and the Nuggets. Denver leads that series 1-0 there. What do you think about that matchup? It's going to be in Denver.
Denver's going to go up 2-0.
Yeah, but I will say the Clippers played them to within an inch of that game. Last game they were out. They were playing well. Now it ended up, I don't think the score ended up too like crazy close. I can't remember the exact score. I think maybe they pulled away. But Denver got a problem on their hands over there because the Clippers are 2 years ago Miami Heat, where it's just
it was 112-110 the previous game, went into overtime.
Okay, so yeah, it was closer than I expected. Than I said. All right, yeah. So one thing we're looking at right now is that this first round is going to be some tougher matchups than we expected them to be. That's one thing we're like. I think I picked my matchups. I pretty much picked all chalk, and I still believe most of the higher seeds will win. But some of these series are going to go 6 and 7. Like these aren't going to be your typical I believe your typical first round sweep follow or the gentleman's sweep. I don't think it's going to be those. We're going to get 6 games, 7 games for a lot of these series. This league is closer than.
Well, looking back at Sunday's games, we had a blowout. The Thunder took care of the Grizzlies 131-80.
That's going to be the one that's probably a sweep. That one might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Celtics took care of the Magic 103-86. Cleveland.
Yo, this fan is clapping. I'm sorry.
The Cavaliers took care of the Heat 121-100.
Shots. The Heat what?
The Cavs took care of the Heat 121-100.
Yeah, they beat the brakes off of them.
Warriors beat the Rockets 95-85.
That low key has potential to be the best series in the first round because because it's literally like the youth of the Rockets versus the absolute veteran age of the Warriors.
Yes.
And that's a fun series to watch because it's the old guard and the new guard. But I think the old guard still got a little too much. That boy Curry, people don't want to hear this because it sounds crazy. He's just good, if not better than he's ever been right now. The only difference is how long can he maintain that at this age? But in terms of just give me a game, go out and do it, he's as good as he's ever been. His shots actually gotten better. He's insane.
That's nuts to say.
He said I'm a Heat fan. I think we get swept. What they say the greatest shooter of all time actually kind of got better. Casually, just fucking
yeah.
Insane, man. Insane.
He said the Rockets are too young and dumb to beat the Rockets, to beat the Warriors. But Mike, they might be so dumb that they're dangerous. You ever get those guys who
they don't know what they don't know.
They don't know what they don't know. They don't know to be terrified that they're facing Curry. They just want to beat him, and they're playing physical. And they do have some vets on that team. But yeah, you're probably right. It's a good chance that's a sweep. But I think they're gonna get 1 or 2 games out of that. Outside of Tyler and Bam, the roster is young and inconsistent. Yeah, and also I love Tyler Hero. Probably one of his biggest fans who's not an actual Miami Heat fan.
Right.
But I don't know that he's built to be a team's number 1 option.
No. I think I thought 2 was stretching.
No.
Is Andrew Wiggins a bust?
This is one of the funny ones. His hype was unreal.
He was supposed to be the next LeBron.
I keep hearing this. I don't believe, but yes.
I mean, that was the hype. He was supposed to be LeBron Jr.
I'm always told I must be wrong, and it's fine. But I'm always in this argument with people, and I'm like, I was there watching him in college, religiously, because I was like, yo, who is this kid? And I remember noticing he got one move. It's that little spin move he does in the lane. And I was just like, I don't remember the hype being that much. But it's very possible that I don't remember the hype being that way because I was too busy hating.
Am I wrong about this hype, Coach?
I don't think you are. Too many people say it for me to be right about it. I gotta just admit that. if so many people were saying it, every time I
initially coming out, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've argued this well over 50 times with 50 different people, and every one of them says he had LeBron's hype. So obvious, they can't all have collectively been hallucinating. So I must have just missed that level.
He had the hype, but I think we figured out really quick that he wasn't that guy.
He
Yeah,
don't
it,
love
it
basketball.
died about the second year he was in the NBA, but
Yeah, he
by
don't love
then,
basketball.
you know,
So yeah, he's a bust, but
investment
he's also
had
a
been made.
champion. Also a champion, by the way. Just fun fact.
Yeah.
But
Two-time champion, right?
is he 2 times? Is he?
He played for the Warriors, right?
He got one with the
Yeah.
Warriors, I believe.
Did he get one in Cleveland, or he came afterwards?
No, they traded him for Love.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
That was LeBron's first move, which honestly, I think now, had they not done that, yes, it would have been a lot of pressure for him to like hit the open jumper. But I do believe if he had stayed with LeBron instead of them getting Love, I think maybe they wouldn't have won that first year, but I think they could have won in perpetuity. They could have won a few more after that.
That's
Had
another
they just
name.
rocked with Wiggins.
Jabari Parker.
Jabari got played. So Jabari's a different case. Jabari got a knee injury, and then for some reason, teams just didn't fuck with him, even though he could still go. Like, Jabari was a bucket, a walking bucket.
Right.
The fact that he didn't get his chance stemmed from the knee injury, and then literally there is guys in the league who just it's funny you said this, because just today, or I saw a clip today of Jeff Teague talking about Jabari. Like, yo, y'all don't understand, like, Jabari's real different. Same thing with Michael Beasley, but Michael Beasley did it to himself with his anxiety and shit.
Yeah.
Well, I guess God did it to him, if we're gonna say it was the anxiety's fault. Do you guys I know Jabari Parker was yet another Duke bust. So the Duke bust thing is it's become a reality, but it really started. We didn't leave them alone in our old chat room that we always talk about. We had a couple Duke fans in there, and we tortured them, honestly.
Does Jake ever take any ownership of this theory?
Jake doesn't fight back with it because he knows that when they get to the league, historically they're just, he doesn't want to hear it, obviously. But he hey, speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
How tired, Jake?
The devil, and he shall appear. Jake, go be with wifey. You took today off to go be with. Get out of here. Get. Go on and get.
Oh,
but now,
man.
Good time with that, man. Oh.
But telling me, wait, hold on. We just laughed at everything that happened. But what you been telling me for months? Duke curse. I told you about the Duke curse, and you told me I crazy with. What are you? Because it's not a curse. You just bums. It's not. That's a different thing. Not a curse. He's just not getting guys like you. Coach K wasn't creating great NBA players. He was creating great men and college basketball players. Wasn't creating great NBA guys. Even some of his best guys. Battier, okay in the league. Leitner, okay in the league. Kyrie won a championship. Great scorer. Doesn't defend. But Tatum is the only real Duke who's overcome. Because it's not a curse. It's not a curse. JT is just really good. What Mike said? What did Mike say? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Oh! So when I look at Tyler Hero, to me, he's a more athletic Kyle Korver, Mike Dunleavy. You're being racist. It's okay. We accept that here. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. He's much different than those guys. Those guys could not dribble at all on their own. Not only can Tyler create his own jumper, he can create for others. They play him at point guard all the time. So now he's very different than them. If I was going to put him closer to a guy, a young Mike Miller, but better. Mike Miller. Right. And Kyrie isn't a real dookie. Don't tell that to Jake. He's going to flip his shit. But I agree.
Why is he not a real dookie?
He played like 10 fucking games. Like 11 games for them, and he was injured.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He was a one and done who barely played there. He was more of a he was more of a Duke frat boy than he was a Duke basketball player. Like, no.
He drank the water. He
drank the water. They got special water over there? Bagley was another bad one. I thought Bagley was really him.
About Victor Wimby.
I think this one right here. Right? That one?
Well, the league is going to pressure him because not only would he be a great face, but he's a face that brings in a whole entire country and then a whole other side of the planet. Because if you don't think all of Europe is going to be watching and rooting for that guy, you don't understand how the basketball community works. But no, look, he wants the pressure. He could have went to a college. He could have took a slower path to the league. He chose to come right here as soon as he could. I think he'll be fine, though. My only worry with Wemby, literally my only worry is just that string bean of a human being staying healthy. It's probably worse than Parker in the butt. 100%. Because it wasn't injury that did Marvin Bagley in. It was being a bum while being a freak athlete.
All right, so let's get back to the playoffs.
Playoffs? You can't do the bit twice.
The Lakers, are they in trouble losing to the Timberwolves 117-95?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, all the pressure's on them.
Okay.
All the pressure's on them.
Okay.
I think they anticipated Luka coming in and just dominating everything. Eat it up, coach. You really hear me?
Tyler Hero is a white Monte Ellis with the T-Boo version. That's awful. That's awful, Mike. They're nothing alike. Tyler Hero. Yeah, Monte Ellis was much smaller and all about how physical, like fast and his jumping ability. Tyler Hero, I mean, if you're just talking about not playing any defense, that's half the league, Mike, especially the scorers. They don't defend. That's why I love Tatum, because he scores and he defends.
Anybody notice no neck guy
player
from Duke?
His career ended because of an injury. Oh, Jay Williams.
Grant.
Who?
I was going to say Grant Hill.
Oh, no, Grant. Nah, Grant. No way he would. I mean, he's young, but I don't think he would have forgot Grant Hill's name. Nah, it's Jay Williams. He's talking about Jay Williams, the point guard who went to Duke.
He got drafted to Chicago and got hurt. And
then
motorcycle accident and some stuff like that.
Yeah,
huh?
Yeah, he crashed his bike and he was never the same. Yeah. That's what he's talking about.
He actually had a career in college.
Yeah, he killed.
Oh.
But he also choked. Bro, they're down 4. Time running on the clock. All the defense has to do is just let them fire off a shot. That's it. They're down 4. They can't win the game. He shoots a 3. They foul him on the 3. He makes the 3. Misses the free throw. Game over. Choke job. One of the biggest chokes I've ever seen.
Wow.
He was.
Okay.
I agree.
All right. Are we good with basketball then? We still got more? Okay. So JJ Redick was a good role player on any team. Yep. He was.
Yep.
He was.
Jake just saying words. No.
Except for when he got to the Pelicans, then he forgot how to play basketball. You know.
What happened?
When JJ Redick got to the Pelicans, he forgot how to play basketball.
Well, he was 1,000 and your team's garbage. You don't know how to use a guy like that.
Hey, listen, you're a shooter. Shooters never forget how to shoot. You forgot how to shoot.
Let me check. I want to see what his stats were for y'all.
They had the
Anthony, I can answer that question. I did have the pleasure of watching Thunder Dan ball out in Phoenix.
Dan Marley?
Yeah.
That was my dude back then, boy.
Thunder Dan, sprinkle a little Tom Chambers in there.
But the funny part is this. They started touting Thunder Dan's defense, guarding Jordan. You know, they had
Thunder Dan could defend.
He's the best guy to stay with him, you know.
So let's see his stats that you hated so much while he was with y'all. He shot 45% from 3. Shut up, Dale.
Dude was terrible with us. We had to put him on the bench.
Terrible. He averaged 15.
He couldn't even play no more.
He averaged 15, which is fourth highest in his career, while shooting 45%, which is 3rd or 4th highest in his career. Literally one of his best years at 35. Just understand, your teams aren't good. That's all the problem is. It's not you always want to blame the players. Your franchise, a mess. You guys still holding on to a guy who has sat out more games than he's played, and you're like, we got to keep him for what? Trade his ass. How haven't you traded Zion yet? How?
Well, number one, the trade value
don't know how to cut ties.
Hurts. It sucks. Nobody wants that.
It doesn't.
You see this is how the Lakers get gifted players. All right.
Y'all never should have gave him that last extension, to be honest.
Wait, what? Oh, you talking about Zion's contract? Oh,
yep.
Here he goes, man. Whatever. Just cap hell. We don't care. We're used to it.
Dude got fired.
Dude
got fired. Dude got fired. The guy that made the decision got fired. There you go.
Bro, trade him.
The guy that made the decision got fired.
And don't say his trade value is low, because there's teams out there who would 100% trade you if 2 drafts for him. Just to sell tickets.
The Knicks.
Plus, there's teams that truly don't believe that he's been hurt this whole time. There's teams that think that they've been protecting the asset, that he's actually could play. And those teams will trade you a ransom for him. But you want to hold on to do the same thing. Fill the seats with mad fans and paper bags. I don't understand.
Yeah, there's nobody's showing up with paper bags. Yeah, they don't care.
Oh
God. Charles Barkley is one of these Hall of Famers that are underrated because people blame him for not winning the championship. Yeah, he's on that list of like guys like Dan Marino, Charles Barkley, those kind of people. Yeah. They always say they never won a big one. That's what they talk about with him.
What?
I still say they're still one of the best players.
Oh, Barkley's respected as that, though. No one ever says that Barkley's not one of the top, like 5 or 6 greatest power forwards that ever played this game. It's always said, because he is.
And I think some of that talk leads to this whole LeBron syndrome of, just trade me to a good team and I'll win a championship. Well, no shit. No.
So this is why. So I want people to be clear. This is why I never, I won't say never. When it first happened, I called them all types of bitches and all that shit. But the older I got, the more I realized that what LeBron did, I understood. And it makes perfect sense. If everything around you in your sport is about, you got to win ships, and then you sit there and watch your franchise not put the guys around you for you to win ships, I do not blame you for leaving. This is why I will say till the day I die, what KD did is 1 billion times worse than what LeBron did. Because he had a team when he left, both of them guys went on to their own careers. The other 2 guys that were really on that team, both MVPs. Both almost, one average triple-double 3 different years, another one close to it. He left a great situation and went to the only situation that he couldn't overcome. That's pussy. Then he made a bunch of burner accounts and fought back for it. What LeBron did was literally play so good that he never got draft picks to build a team around him. People be like, oh, Jordan. Jordan and his Bulls were bad enough to get Pippen at one point. So they had a bad enough seat. And, I think, did they draft Horace or did they get him in free agency?
I think they
were able to get Kukoc.
Yeah.
So, look, Jordan first 7 seasons, he was just out there scoring 1,000, losing games.
Yeah.
What is this? He said,
oops, hold on. There you go.
See, this is what I hear about sports fans. They blame the player for the team not winning a championship when both basketball and football are the ultimate team sport. Hockey, too. Ultimate team sport as well. Yes, the thing about basketball is this, though. One guy can change the tide. One guy can. Now, he's not going to win it for you by himself, but one guy can change an entire franchise. Whereas in football, one quarterback can change an entire franchise, but no one player other than that can, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys feel the same.
I know I'm in the minority. I don't think you drop, Pat Mahomes into any situation and the shit is just gonna get better. Because, like your line can't block, your line can't block. He can't overcome that crap.
Fair. But you drop Drew Brees in the Saints and suddenly they were relevant. But can you drop one? Can you drop one guy in and make them a champion? No, you got to continue to build after that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But a quarterback can change the whole franchise around. It also makes just him being there, it makes more people want to come there. So can you drop Patrick Mahomes in any system when he was a rookie and they automatically he gets to the level that he got? Maybe not. But if for a single season he still puts up good numbers that first year, teams are going to flock. I mean, players are going to flock there. And now, yes, the one guy has changed everything because he's changed culture. He's changed how the rest of the league views this team. Yeah. Like the Patriots didn't get a bunch of free agents all those years that we sucked. Even with Bledsoe, we didn't get a bunch of free agents. Tom Brady comes in, wins a ring. They're suddenly like, oh, we should be able to go there. And now people wanted to come there. We just didn't sign anybody because Bill's insane. Quarterbacks
people say the guys like Patrick Mahomes will be successful in the 80s and 90s when the quarterbacks can get hit.
Nope.
He wouldn't get injured.
See, I don't like this conversation. You want to know why I don't like this conversation? Because if you're just going to take a guy out of nowhere and put him in this, so like, cool. Patrick Mahomes gets raised the way he was raised in football in our era, right? You bring him back there, yeah, he's going to get his ass beat. You bring any of those guys here, foul out of the game, ejected immediately. They don't even get to play football. So it doesn't really matter, like, because those guys played overly physical. It's the same way people say, oh, LeBron, he would have got his ass beat if he played back in the day. He wouldn't have been able to. Okay. Do you think a guy 6'8", 260, moving those speeds, wouldn't have been delivering blows to them guys? Would they not be knocked down on the court a bunch of times and not want to get back up because they got to deal with this train wreck, this freight train of a human being? I don't like the cross eras because it depends whose era you brought up in. If Patrick Mahomes was raised in that era, he'd have been a tougher player. It would have been what he dealt with. And he still would have had a brain to play quarterback and a cannon of an arm. Those things wouldn't change.
Yeah.
Sound like logic to me, buddy.
I try. Not always. I try.
All right. Let's see. With y'all got anything for anything more for basketball at least?
I like this. Oh wait, no, well, I'll get back to that. Mahomes wouldn't make the Raiders a contender, but if you swapped him for Trevor Lawrence, the Jags become legit, and the Chiefs are maybe a wild card team, or maybe Andy Reid gets the best out of Trevor. We don't know. We've seen him get the best out of other quarterbacks who weren't great. Well, I guess he didn't have Nick Foles, but still, we've seen him get the best out of other guys. I think McNabb was overrated. I think he played for Andy Reid his whole career.
Yeah, he got exposed when he went to Washington.
He was also 1,000 and throwing up everywhere. So we won't talk about that. This is where I disagree with you. We don't really have dominant centers to stop LeBron in this era. I think that's why people's right. But do you understand that if he's raised in that era, his game would be different? In that era where centers were beating people's asses, he would have developed a better mid-range. He would have developed, I think the three-point shot he developed here was probably more than he would have been there because he wouldn't have been shooting as much. Yeah, he just would have developed a mid-range. He also would have developed more of a post game, the way Luka had.
And that's why I don't like those discussions either, because LeBron is probably not going to be LeBron in the past, like you stated, and Dr. J may be still Dr. J, but more like like a Tracy McGrady or something like that. Now, you never know how they're going to come out because they're going to be the product of their environment, right?
Also, did all those centers stop Kemp? Because that's basically the build that LeBron would have went back in time with. Sean Kemp build. That's who he was. And Kemp seemed to do A-okay before the drinking. He was flying on everyone. Shaq, Mutombo, don't matter. You can get dunked on. That's what LeBron would have been doing.
Not Anthony. Bashing
No,
LeBron, we don't care about that.
No, we care about
We don't get involved in those arguments.
We try not to, yeah. I mean, I can't. You can say we. You got to exclude me. I am in those almost daily because I have a problem. That's beside the point, though.
All right. Let's talk college football. We brought up Nico transferring from Tennessee last week.
Hold on.
And now we've got a landing spot, and that is UCLA. And we did say he go back out west to California, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
also, nobody considers Kemp at all time. Yes, because Kemp couldn't dribble like LeBron. Kemp couldn't pass like LeBron. Mike, you're barking up the wrong tree here, man. You know I got a respect for LeBron that you don't have. You just can't stand him. I understand that, but like to say that he might have been Sean Kemp when he is like literally more talented at every fucking aspect of basketball, that's hate, bro. You know it is. Okay. Ian Malamaleva, my man Nico, didn't like 2 million, held out to get 5, got 1.7, and he's playing in UCLA now. So he fumbled his bag, not as bad as Schroeder fumbled his bag, but he fumbled his bag. And he fumbled being on a good team in the SEC. It is going to affect him long term. Hopefully not too much, because that wasn't a great move for him. He almost ended up at Tulane. Ugh.
Yeah. Hey, almost.
They didn't even want him. That's how. It's a bad look. Tulane's like, we're good.
Tainted goods, man. Tainted goods.
And then where there's news that UCLA's quarterback Robert McDaniel is going to enter the transfer portal after Nico is on his way there. So one guy in, one guy out. So
he's already found a home.
Where did he end up at?
Tennessee.
They get a trade. That's great.
That's the joke of the guy. He was like, you ever be on the highway and you see a log truck going this way and then a log truck going this way? And you're just like, you got log? You got logs? Maybe we didn't need to. But yeah, I don't understand this, but that's funny that he went to Tennessee. You think he's going to start?
I don't know about that.
I'm guessing I just feel like the backup for SEC is probably better than most starters at UCLA for an SEC team. Backup quarterback.
Yeah, especially this day and age.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Will the kid even played it down in football in college, and they have the nerve to complain that he's asking for too much money? Wait, what's the first part of this? When I look at the situation, Tennessee Nico, I don't blame him for that. I blame the lead department and coaching staff for giving him that much money. Well, that's the thing, though. Like, the NIL is about fans. It's about who you bring into the game. That's what that NIL money really is about. Like, are you going to bring more fans and wins to this school? And Nico had a following before he ever touched down in college, which is why ahead of time he had more NIL money on the table before a lot of guys did. He's also, I think, the first wave of the NIL. Wasn't it the first year of it? Was his freshman season?
I believe so.
So, like, yeah, I mean, but also think about it. NFL does the same thing. They pay these guys all types of money before a single snap in the NFL. That's how it works.
Bobby, my guy.
Yeah, thanks. What are we doing, Chris? Stay still, Chris. I'm drawing a pervert. Figure it out. Do you understand what I'm saying, though? Tennessee made a mistake of giving him $8 million plus $2 million bonus for outside interest. He played for. No, he put. How many times you talk about Tennessee? before Nico got there in the last 5 to 10 years? You didn't. You didn't. Maybe a player here or there. They had what? Hooker. They had the kid who was just playing for us, Milton. Like, just keeping it real. Keeping it real creepy. Yeah,
keeping it real.
I got a Chappelle skit for you if you believe that.
All right, let's talk about this NIL thing. Steve Spurrier calls college football an unfair sport because of the NIL era. So he's suggesting they put a cap on NIL for every school. Everybody has the same amount of money to work with, like a salary cap. So my rebuttal to this is, when has college football ever been fair?
Never.
It's always been the haves and the have-nots.
And he got the goddamn nerve to be the one standing up. Didn't he get sanctioned before for this type of shit? For paying guys when no one's supposed to get paid? Shut up, ball coach. Shut up, Steve. Don't nobody want to hear that shit.
I got something for you.
What?
He's telling them that should have a salary cap because the teams that are going to abide by the laws is just going to set back the old system they had before. They're going to have a salary cap that's public. But then anything above and beyond the salary cap, it's going to be like they never even left. They're just partaking what they're doing.
You know what he's thinking, coach? He's like,
what's that?
Dog golly, I did all this work cultivating these boosters. All these years cultivating these relationships with these places that could give me money when they're not supposed to. Now it's just all on the table. Shut up, Steve. You take your visor and pack it the fuck up. Like, get up out of here.
Oh man.
No, you want the NFL as far away from college football as possible. No, the very easy fix for this is to cap it, like he said. He did make a good point. You ever don't shoot the messenger? He's the messenger that you got to shoot because you don't want him making this message. You want coaches who played by the rules the entire time to make this to give this message. The problem is you got to cap it and then you got to stop the transfer. The transfer is the real problem. If you cut down on the transfers, guys are going to take their first deal and just have to live with that shit.
Yeah. But you're not going to cut down on transfers because, I mean, it's already been brought to court. Like, judge said you can't stop them from transferring. What you want to do?
You can literally
trump the judge.
I just don't understand I don't know how a judge can tell them they can't stop them from transferring. They can stop them from go.
That's what the judge told the NCAA. You can't stop them from transferring. They can transfer unlimited. Thank you.
Well, then, all right. Well, then maybe Anthony's right. Maybe the NFL does have to get involved.
No, what's going to happen? Everybody's going to secede from the NCAA.
Well, yes, I know, but
they're going to create their own conferences. Their own little thing, and they're going to hire a commissioner, and that's going to take care of college football. You're welcome.
We're allowed to dream, but it can't play a role in our fucking show every week. Is all I'm saying.
You're welcome.
We know. I agree with you.
Been telling y'all this for years now. Okay.
You're standing on business.
Calm down. Let Pimp Dale speak.
Yeah, I mean the whole sitting out a year that got brought to court, and the NCAA lost, and that's the reason why they no longer sit out a year. Like all these things have already been brought in front of the judge.
Wait, no, but sit down a year. That's the rule that they brought to the judge, not the. Is it the transfer too, though?
Yeah, they brought it to the judge saying, I shouldn't have to sit out a year if I want to transfer.
No, so is that the only rule that you're talking about that they brought to the judge? Because that's not the same rule as saying no. We're not saying you got to sit for a year. We're just saying you can't transfer every fucking season. Different rule they can make.
No, so originally, The
Right.
rule was transfer one time, no
You sit.
penalty. No penalty. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yes. That was the original rule. Transfer and you sit a year. So players didn't want to sit a year. They didn't transfer very much. So they brought that to the judge. They said no more sitting a year. You can transfer without the penalty. Okay. So then the new rule was transfer one time without penalty. They brought that back to the judge. We should be able to transfer unlimited without penalty. Oh, yeah. Y'all can do that.
See, the problem is they keep bringing the penalty aspect into it. No penalty. You just can't fucking do it. Period. It's not about penalties. You just can't do it. The end. We're not talking about, 3 strikes. Oh, we're going to dock your pay. Oh, no, you can't. It's not even possible. Not on the table.
Yeah.
That's what the rule needs to be.
When you have your commissioner, you can create all these rules you want to create, and then you gonna have to pay the players, get them to unionize, sign on to whatever deal is agreed to, and that's the way you have to go forward.
It's pro sports, so yeah, get the NFL involved, I guess, since no one.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Succeed, or succeed. Get out of there.
There it is.
Yeah. Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Like they don't want them to be university employees. I mean, that's another way to actually control, right? You want that control.
That's also madness.
They can make them university employees, you know? They don't want that on the books, though.
That's diabolical. The issue is football is the only major sport with no minor league. College is the only option. NFL should create its own minor league. Yeah, I believe that too.
They don't want to. It's gonna cost them money. Try to get it for free.
And that's why they support the college game. But it's changing.
Yep. That's it, man. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay.
That is true, Bobby. They get the NIL plus the scholarship money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now scholarships, I mean, that really just pay for your room and board, though. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, room and board, maybe your books, something like that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get a stipend as well. Mm-hmm. Like a cash stipend.
But the NIL money is nothing to do with that. That's totally
correct. Totally independent.
Totally separate, yeah.
Also, room and board and all that stuff. That's problematic. It varies from campus to campus. Sure, your campus life on, I don't know, let's say Longhorns campus, probably great. But not going to be as fun on the BC campus. Trust me. I know.
Yeah. See, I don't like this thinking like you should get one or the other. That's crap. Like the problem with college football is they built it into $1 trillion sport and didn't cut the players in on it.
Yeah.
The
free labor.
Yeah. We overpricing ninjas for what they did to the Cold Crush. That's what this is. That's what this is. We overpricing now. That's what you get. I think eventually the minor league system. Huh.
Yeah, they've got partnerships with the UFL. Like they share injury data, special teams crap, maybe some stuff with these new systems that they try out. They share that crap. But and yeah, the UFL, they're openly a platform to let the NFL scout and recruit from there. So they're on board in that way, but there's no official, money revenue sharing kind of partnership between the two leagues. It's always limited partnerships.
What can I start on my comment about the
Oh,
prophecy
shit.
coming from
This game is crazy.
I don't know who this is.
Detroit's up 97-94.
Really?
16 seconds left. Knicks missed a 3. Detroit gets the ball. This game's over. Pistons take game 2. Barring an epic collapse in 8 seconds. Look at Mike doing my job. I'll be damned.
Hypocrisy coming from Saban, Sweeney, and Smart. I saw it up here.
What was the question?
This one.
Do you find it hypocritical that Saban, Kirby, and Dabo saying that Miami is only getting these top of recruits because they're paying them when they have been doing it for 20 years? Yeah, I mean, I agree, but the truth is, they ain't got nab for that. It's all assumed that they just had a really good system that they didn't get caught with. But we ain't actually catch none of them coaches up for none of that. So we can't. That's like the steroid era. Like, yeah, you were hitting bombs in the steroid era. You may not, and you never got pop positive, but you know, we kind of just tainted the whole era. So everyone involved. And that's the problem with cheaters. Bring everyone down.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what I got for today, man. We covered football. We covered some basketball. Covered college football too. This is a full show here.
Nothing wrestling-y. Saving that for your show, bastard.
WrestleMania was freaking awesome. All right. Night 1 was the best night. It had the most drama. I did love the ending. Hell of a swerve. Paul Heyman choosing Seth Rollins over CM
Terrible.
Punk.
I hate Paul
and
Heyman.
Roman Reigns. Like,
that's his job though, but I hate Paul Heyman. Get him the fuck out of here.
You know. So it's gonna be nice to see what happened tonight on Raw. But yeah, man. Look, I had a good time watching it. I thought they did a good job with the presentation.
My wrestling homies didn't hit me up. I thought y'all were gonna hit me up. Will, you watching? Nobody cared. I understand.
I was a little preoccupied. I had a new wrestling fan watching with me.
I'ma leave that door open.
I had a new wrestling fan watching with me. She enjoyed it. She made fun of me in the beginning, but she got into it. So
yeah, no, she just likes you. She don't like that shit.
Oh, she got into it, bro. Cause like the next night, like she had texted me like, I need to watch more wrestling with you. And I was like, yeah, well, you're in luck because it's night 2 tonight.
Yo, she immediately regretted saying that shit. She thought she was clear.
we got more wrestling for you.
Oh my God. Jody, blink twice and we'll send help. All right. Just blink twice and we'll send help.
Yeah,
Mike sent me his end of show joke on Facebook. Makes me wonder why. I feel like you don't want to be tied to this one. I haven't read it yet, but it's just sketchy, Mike. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Chick walked into a bar and sees an attractive guy. She walks up to him and chats him up. He says, "What's your name?" She tells him in a flirty voice, "My name is Carmen. I gave myself that name because it's 2 things I like a lot, cars and men." She then asked the guy what his name is, and he says, "My name is BJ, Tits and Sports." BJ Tits and Sports. Yeah, that's great. And agreed. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, we watch wrestling.
Dale, she wanted to wrestle you dummy, not to watch wrestling.
We watch wrestling though, okay? It was great. I did
Great
not
for one of y'all.
I did not miss it. Oh man. All right. Coach, you want to do the roll call here? We'll get out of
Yes,
here.
sir. Shout out to Anthony, Bobby, Mike, Umar, Jake, and Chris. Forgot anybody as always. All bad.
Big
right.
shout out to Ant. He was trying to like get on. It didn't work today. We'll work something out though. Ant. I put my Twitter in the chat. So find me on Twitter and we can work that shit out for the next show.
Yeah.
We do have a busy ass week this week though, being that we have shows every single day due to the draft. So
yep. Be sure you guys check us out.
Oh my God. Get him
for the draft. It's going to
get him
fun.
on the list he belongs on already. Jesus Christ. For your ass. You'll carve a hole in your wall, man. Careful. I'm convinced Chris was the one chasing Aaron Andrews.
That's great.
Shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Huh? Oh, wait. No, wait. Maybe we'll get to tomorrow. A couple more days. Speaking of gifts, though, you heard?
I saw.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. Yep.
It ain't just SCWF no more. It's us. We here. The parlay come through.
That's it. All right. Well, we will see y'all tomorrow for the chop up. We are doing a 420 show. So
4 days late. Crushing
bring
it.
your bring the stuff that you got for 420. So how about that?
The 420
right.
show is when the chop up evolved.
That's right.
That's true.
That's right.
What do you know, dear? You wasn't here. No.
I was here to change it.
Be the change you wish to see. This guy, get him out of here.
Mad scientist.
Yeah, exactly.
1-3, cancel Dale.
All right, we'll see y'all tomorrow. We out of here.
Thanks for watching our show. Remember to subscribe for more shows on the network. Smash the like button, share, and comment.